I need to learn how to meditate. I really need to learn how to meditate because I gotta fucking pull this away.
Let's do a meditation.
I don't know how to.
Let's do one right now, and people listening can do one too. A mindfulness meditation, very simple, man, very simple. Okay, so just sit back. I know you have a microphone in your hand. It's kind of uncomfortable.
You need a mic stand?
No, I could hold it.
Okay.
Just sit back. This is, if you guys want great meditation techniques, Jack Kornfield, A Path with Heart. That's what I'm extracting this from as I remember it. You just sort of sit back. Just take a big, deep breath. Just feel. What you want to... The idea here is to just... You want to start feeling your body. Like, let your mind sort of move through your body, like scanning through your arms and your legs and your neck. Like any place where there's tension, just notice it. Don't try to change it, but just notice, like, oh, my neck's tight. Look at that. My chest feels tight. And wherever you can, just bring a little space into that place where you're kind of tight. And keep taking deep breaths. And what you're doing here is compared to somebody hunting, or somebody who's gone on a hike in the forest and is sitting at the edge of a pond and sitting very still. The more still you become, the more you can start seeing the wildlife come out of the forest. Deer, a rabbit, a horned thing with orange dripping eyes, mucusy eyes, thick reptile skin, fangs. And if you listen to that thing that just came out of the woods, that's the thing that says, "Your dog's sick again, Bert. This is the worst time in your life, Bert." And that's your ego. That's your mind. That's just your mind. Or in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, they call it the vrittis, which are called mind cyclones. And they're very, very hypnotic. And they can pull your attention completely into them to the point where you begin to think you are them. And that's their big trick. And so the practice of meditation is just simply sitting and watching these things emerge, naming them. Oh, there it is again. Anxiety, 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 anxiety. Fear, 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 fear. And you're sort of just naming them. It's called noting. Another way they put it is it's like someone sitting on the edge of the ocean watching waves come in. And the waves are your thoughts, or the feelings that go along with the thoughts. And those feelings and thoughts, you just sit and watch like someone's sitting on the beach. There it is again. Look at that. Anxiety. There it is again. And you just watch and note and watch and note. And then you'll begin to see how these things, they arise. They have a peak, height of anxiety attack, peak of terrible thought vortex. You've thought out the very worst possible thing. And the more you watch, the more that kind of dissipates, just like a wave, just rushes up against the shore and then it's gone. And you just sit and you watch it come and go, come and go. And that's meditation, that's mindfulness. So right now, as you're sitting, we'll sit first quietly for a moment. Just sort of let your thoughts come in and watch them go. We'll just do that for a minute. Now, over time, obviously we can't do this for the whole podcast, but as you're meditating, you begin to like not just watch the thoughts, but now you start watching just the feelings. You know, the more you watch the thoughts might begin to dissipate, and as the thoughts sort of part like clouds, suddenly you start seeing your feelings underneath the thoughts, you see. And that's where it gets really interesting. And this is what Pema Chodron recommends, which is called get rid of the storyline. So instead of like getting caught up in why you're feeling the way you're feeling, oh, it's because of Priscilla, or all the other stresses that a person experiences when they have a family, you cut away all the narrative, and now you just sit with the feeling itself and watch that feeling. What is the feeling? Now you're just naming the feeling. Fear, you know, whatever it may be. You just start naming the feeling. Does it have a color? Does it have a shape? You begin to watch the feeling minus the storyline. And what, over time, you begin to realize is that you are feeding the feeling by recreating the storyline that usually involves worst outcomes, usually involves fixation on the past or some terrible future. And the less you do that and the more you just sit with the feeling, honestly, not trying to avoid it, just fully feel the thing itself, it starts to change. It starts to change or dissipate. And underneath that feeling is bliss. Underneath that feeling, in the same way when it rains in LA and all the smog gets pushed down into the gutters for a second, all the stressed out actor farts, all the angry burps from half-baked network executives 3 inches away from blowing their brains out, all that stuff just gets and goes into the gutters for a second, and suddenly LA looks like the Garden of Eden. In the same way, this true self that we all have is covered by this smog of thoughts and feeling patterns that we are creating, just like someone threading a necklace. And the more you stop creating it, the more that you just sit there with the feeling, then suddenly you start coming in contact with this thing underneath it all that you forgot. And quite often the first thing people will think is, shit, where have I felt? I feel like a kid. This reminds me of when I was a kid. That's what they'll think. Like, God damn it, this is that same blissful feeling.
Holy shit, man. That was fucking really helpful.
Cool, man.
Dude,
Cornfield, Jack Cornfield. Check him out, man. A Path with Heart. He's got all these great meditations in there.
A Path with Heart?
A Path with Heart. Oh, it's so good.
I'm getting that on my Kindle now.
You will love it, man. And it's just so simple. Because, you know, with Buddhism and with this kind of stuff, it can get really, like, either flowery or it can get, like, just too woo-woo. He just breaks it down in the most simple way that's very compassionate. Like, of course you're suffering. Of course you're feeling like this. Look at where we are. Look at this predicament we're in as human beings. To think that you wouldn't be suffering, or to think that you wouldn't be stressed out or tense, that's madness. Like, it only makes sense. And that's, you know, because so people have no compassion for themselves, Bert. They're just like, you know, so many of my friends, man, they're just like tight and they feel terrible and they're so hard on themselves because they think they're not supposed to be feeling terrible.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's wrong with me, man? I must be failing. I'm fucking lonely. I'm so goddamn lonely, or I'm so fucking scared that it's not going to work out. For whatever the thing is, it's like, yeah, that's normal.